Somebody posted a question on the forum on my website the other day, and they were asking about the Rudimental Ritual, which is in the Alan Dawson Drummer's Complete Vocabulary book. Now, this is basically a piece where you play through all of the rudiments and you play them over a Bossa Nova foot pattern. So you can see here, this is the first example. So you have the kick on the 1 and the and of 2, and the 3 and the and of 4, and you have the hi-hat on the 2 and the 4. So that's like dun, 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 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. And this is playing a 3-stroke rough over the top of that. So you're basically just accenting on the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4. Now, his question was regarding rudiments which involve triplets. So for example, this one here is a Flam Accent. So that's triplets, 8th note triplets, and you're playing flams on the pulse. So the question is, how does that triplet fit over this 8th note rhythm? So it just so happens that I wrote some software to kind of answer that question. Now, OctopuSequencer is 4 different sequences. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll kind of have an idea of what it does. I want to demonstrate how you can learn to hear that 4/3 polyrhythm and how you can actually program in some of the rudiments over that foot pattern. So we're going to use sequences 1 and 2. So I've set the length of 3 and 4 to 0 just by dragging this down to 0. You see the purple bar here shows how long this sequence is going to repeat for. So just set that to 0. And I've set sequencer 1 to a length of 3 and set the rate to 12th notes, which is essentially 8th note triplets. And the second sequencer is set to a length of 4 at a rate of 8th notes. So I'm going to program in on the low tom 4 8th notes. And turn the volume up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And on this sequencer, I'm going to program in 3 notes repeating, and these are at the 12th note rate, which is 8th note triplets. So this is going to actually give us 8th note triplets over 8th notes. Let's bring the tempo down. So we can play this and bring the triplets down. So that's our 8th notes. So we get used to that, and then we gradually bring the level of the triplets up. So that's what 8th note triplets over 8th notes sound like. So the next thing we want to know is how that sounds if you're not playing all of the 8th notes, if you're just playing that Bossa Nova rhythm. So I'm going to put a kick on the 1 and the 4, that's like the and of 2. Let's leave those in for a second, and I'll put a hi-hat on the 3. So turn the volume of those up. This is our kick pattern. Let's mute that and turn the volume of this down. Okay, so that's the Bossa Nova pattern. If I turn the tom up so you can hear the 8th note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And so if you wanted to play the 8th note triplets over the top, we can unmute this. Let's bring the volume up gradually. Bring the triplets up. Okay, over the 8th notes there. Now we want to know how those rudiments sound. You'll see here it says to use top line for the sequencer, use the routing panel on the left. So that's down here. So we say root sequencer 1 to top line drums. Okay, and then that black thing disappears. Now anything that you draw on the top line, we can have the result play through this little control panel. And in here you can type in rudiments. Okay, so if I type in a capital R space small l space small r, that is an accented right hand stroke followed by a ghosted left and a ghosted right. And you choose the right and left sounds in here. So you pick a sound, say a low floor tom, and then you click right and it sets low 4 tom to that sound, and you have the accent volume and the tap volume, and the left hand is set to electric snare. So when I play this, you can hear it's going accent on the floor tom, and then a ghost on the snare and a ghost on the floor tom, and you can change the accent volume. So now we're not hearing the accent. Put it back up. You can change the tap volume. You can mute the right hand. So now we're just hearing the right hand over the Bossa Nova. You can mute the left hand. So you hear the right hand part by itself. So we have that Bossa Nova pattern down here, and we've got consistent eighth notes up here. Now, just to demonstrate really what the top line feature does, it plays whatever notes are on here using whatever is in here. So if I take out the middle one and I mute this, so now it's playing still accented right followed by quiet left and quiet right, but in this rhythm. If I take those out, then we just get okay, put them back in. So that's what we want. We want the constant triplets. You can just change the rate of this sequencer, and you could hear, for example, how that right, right, left sounds if you play it as 16th notes. So this is the 12th note, so the 8th note triplets. So you want to hear it as 16th notes, just change the rate to 16. Want to hear it as quintuplets, change it to 20. It's one for Virgil Donati. You want to hear it as eighth notes, change it to 8. So it's really quick to try all these different things out. I've actually saved some rudiments in here. So if you click on this, we have a Flam Accent, and flams you put in by typing RF or LF for right flam or left flam. So the Flam Accent sounds like this. And if you want to hear that over the Bossa Nova, we can unmute this sequencer. And if you want to hear it all played on the snare, let's find the snare in here and set the right hand to the snare as well. And if you want to hear just the right hand part, you can mute the left. That's the right hand part. The left hand part would be and both together. So that's a Flam Accent, and here we've got a double paradiddle. And then we've got Flam Paradiddle. Flam Paradiddle Diddle, sorry. But you can type rudiments in here, it's very easy. And just to give you another example, if you put a dash, that will be like a rest. So we've got constant triplets. So if I put capital R, rest, rest, and then capital L, space, right, that will give us essentially a quarter note, because we've got two eighth note rests, and then left, right, right as eighth note triplets. So that would sound like this. So you can put all sorts of things in here. One more example, let's do a double Rudiments. Oh, by the way, you can't put drags in here, only flams, but you can still get the idea of how it would sound. Put the tempo up a little bit, say 100. So there you go. If you want to download these rudiments here, there's a file on the forum on my website. Check out the OctopuSequencer presets. And all you do is download that file, click in here, choose load bank, and then go and find the triplet rudiments.max presets. Open that, and that loads them into here. If you want to get yourself a copy of OctopuSequencer, just go to joecrabtree.com/software. You'll need to get a masterclass account in order to download the software. That's just so that when there are new versions, you'll have immediate access to download those. If you have an account, log in, or you can log in with Facebook, or you can sign up. It's very quick and simple to get an account. Once you're logged in, you'll see the links to buy the software at the top of the page.